Jamie Stenhouse here from Market Titans Agency, and today I want to talk about the new trend that's happening in funnels online and possibly to share some insight as to why your funnel is not consistently converting. So if you haven't heard about what a marketing funnel is, then you've probably been hiding underneath a rock. But in short, what it is it's a process or a series of interactions that can take a prospect from cold to warm and into a client or customer. And usually this happens automatically. It might use email, it might use content, SMS, direct mail, whatever it is. It's a process that the prospect has to go through to become a client. Now the problem in almost every industry, with every client that we take on under the agency, is that a lot of these companies that have a funnel online treat it as a straight line process. Prospect opts in, and then hopefully they come out the end as a client or customer. Now maybe you have the same process, maybe you're giving away some great content for free, and then you might email them 2-3 days later, or you might send them another piece of content, and then you might try to sell them. The problem with that, the problem with most funnels online today, is that it's a straight line process. It does not adapt to the prospect. So I'll give you a prime example. Your funnels should be treating every prospect differently based on what they do. And we do this for our agency inside our clients consistently, and it's called behavioral dynamic response marketing. And the reason it's called that mouthful of words is because it responds to what the prospect actually interacts with throughout your campaign. So let's say a prospect opts in for your free content, and then you might send them 2 or 3 emails giving them more content and helping them out more and more. But what happens if they do not open the first piece of content? Do you simply go to the next piece and the next piece and the next piece, which creates a incongruent experience for the prospect because they haven't consumed your first piece of content? So if it's a process, if you're treating your marketing funnel as a process and delivering content by stage by stage by stage, then it's crucial that they consume that content before going on to the next stage. So this is where behavioral dynamic response marketing comes in. It takes into account that most prospects probably won't even open the thing that they requested. Actually, I think it's about 85% of prospects who actually opt in for something for free never actually consume it. And if your sales process is dependent on them actually consuming that to get the value up front, and they're not consuming, then the whole process is inconsistent and it breaks down. So what you need to do is you need to change your funnel based on what the prospect actually interacts with. So if they do not open the first email, then retarget it. Change the subject line, be more aggressive, or change this subject line to talk about a different pain point, right? Because in every prospect, there's usually 6 or 7 individual pain points and or hopes or dreams that we can communicate as a marketer to the prospect. So I'll give you an example from the health industry. Someone might opt in to receive a free diet plan, right? And if they do not open that, then you could retarget the subject line to them again from the point of view of losing weight, getting lean, or maybe for the next one you could angle it from the point of view from a shopping list, or hate to cook, here's 12 meals you can use, right? So you're retargeting it again and again and again until the prospect opens it, because they shouldn't go on to the next stage of your funnel until they open it. Now this is very powerful because every prospect is then treated differently, and if you set up your automations correctly, pretty much a prospect is creating their own experience of your campaign as they go through it. So let's say, as a quick example, you might have 4 different angles throughout your marketing funnel online. If you send an email to a prospect and they do not open up the first angle, the second angle, or the third angle, but they open up the 4th angle, then every other communication from that point onwards should be from the 4th angle. So really, your campaign should look like a labyrinth of just interactions, and if this happens and this happens, if they do not click on this article, then that clip gets sent. If they do not answer this email, then an SMS gets sent, right? There's so many interactions and so many behavioral dynamic response, triggers that can happen when you begin to create funnels at that higher level. And why this is so powerful is that no one else is doing it. No one else is doing it because it takes time to create, and everyone's really lazy, right? And that's why our agency exists, to help those professionals create really good dynamic campaigns that their prospects actually enjoy, that do not feel like marketing, and that converts at rates that are unheard of in any industry. So the reason people don't do this is because it takes time, it takes work. You have to write, or you have to design multiple pieces of content for the same process, right? So if your funnel has 10 processes through it, then you have to probably write 4 to 10 different angles for each process, because you want to adapt to different clients and different process and different customers. Because although we would like to think that every customer is the exact same person, the exact same dreams, hopes, ambitions and situations, that's never the case. Let me ask you a question. Do you hate it when a company pigeonholes you, treats you like everyone else? Of course you do. So why would you treat your prospects like that? And why would you be using a simple straight line campaign, point A to point Z, let's say? Why would you be using that? Interact with your prospect through the process. Change it depending on what they interact through. And you can use this through programs such as Active Campaign, which is what I love. You can use it in Infusionsoft as well, which is a good program, but I don't recommend it because it's very clunky and I thought it's very outdated. However, another great one is also Get Response. But if you can use Active Campaign, because it works well with your blog articles, your clips, your SMS, it can really set up a very dynamic campaign, and it's the exact program that we use for our clients every single day. So the point here is that your campaign should be adjusting to what the prospect actually interacts with. It creates a very high sense of congruency, and it doesn't feel like you're spamming them with the same message or with a message that is out of sequence because they didn't consume the first 2 or 3 messages, right? You're actually interacting, you're having a real conversation with the prospect, because if they do not do something, then you adjust your path. If they do something else, then you adjust your path again. So it's constantly changing, constantly adapting, and it's just a very powerful approach when you begin to create funnels that use dynamic behavioral response marketing. So just to close this up, if a prospect does not open up your email, retarget it with a different subject line. If a prospect does not click on your link, retarget it and move the link up higher, or condense down the email so that it's not so much to read and just aim for the click. If they do not take the action on the other side of the link, if it be a purchase, or if it be to talk to you on the phone, or if it be to schedule a consultation, then put the offer in the email, right? You always want to be closing the gap between the amount of clicks that the prospect has to do and the action that you want them to take. Begin closing that down using behavioral dynamic response marketing. Hope you enjoyed that episode. This is a new project I'm doing for our agency, Market Titans Agency, and it's just a great platform for me to share my ideas and thoughts on what's working for our clients right now. So if you have any questions or you have an idea for an episode, simply comment over on our blog at markettitans.com.au, and of course subscribe to this show. It's a very new show for us. Thank you for being one of the first people to watch our first few episodes. It means a lot to me. And head over to our blog at markettitans.com.au, because that's where the real conversation happens. That's where we upload the quotes from the show, we upload the show notes, and we also upload the links to tools and programs that we talked about in the show as well. So I'll see you over there, and of course I'll see you in the next episode as well. Thank you for watching.